a blessing from God.
You must expect a miracle.
You have the power of choice.
Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ.
Welcome to Life Today Live. I'm Randy Robinson. It's Friday, and I like it when we do kind of fun things on Friday because, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm ready for the weekend. But anyway, glad you guys are here. If you're just joining us, chat is open, so feel free to be a part of the conversation. As always, hit subscribe or like or follow or whatever you hit, whatever you're watching. We are on multiple platforms. So today we're going to talk one of my favorite topics, which is film and TV and production and this the world I live in. So I think you're going to enjoy it because I have a guest today who you have seen. If you've seen any Christian movies, you have seen her lovely face. She started in Flywheel, which is with the Kendrick brothers' first movie before Facing the Giants, which she was also in. And over the years, been in lots of different productions. Some of you might know if you follow Christian movies at all. My Brother's Keeper, a good pro-life film called The Order of Rights, and one this year called Redeemed, which has T.C. Stallings as well, who was on a couple weeks ago, and friend Cammie Arnett, a lot of great people. And she's getting ready to zip off to another location to start another film production. So she's busy. She's doing it. She's doing the movie thing. But in between, she's taking a little time to do a series on PureFlix, which if you haven't checked out pureflix.com, check it out, get your free trial. And one of the things you can watch is a program called Rebuild and Restore. And this is like, my wife watches these types of programs non-stop. She loves them. And so if this is your thing, you're going to love this one because it's not just the restoration of a building. Well, I don't want to give it away entirely. So here's a little sneak preview of Rebuild and Restore. And then we're going to come back and we will talk with one of the hosts, actor Shannon Fields. So check this out and we'll be right back.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Okay, finally.
I got it.
Okay.
I'm Ken Fletcher.
Hold on.
It's harder than it looks.
Oh, that.
I'm Ken Fletcher.
And I'm Shannon Fields, and we're the host of Rebuild and Restore. Ow! Oh my gosh!
Rebuild and Restore is a home makeover show where we help widows and their families. Every episode, I lead a team of volunteers in helping rebuild part of the widow's house. Thank you so much for all of you coming out.
Oh, yes, look at you. Oh, yes.
You good on levels? What do you think? What we're wanting to do is convert this storage shed into a pool house. And remember, this is a home fix-it show, not a comedy show.
Careful now, ain't no telling what's going to come out of here.
When Shannon came by, I really wanted her to replace this toilet ring.
I can only imagine what Ken's doing right now.
Oh, my God.
He's probably sweating bullets.
It is so hot.
While Ken is helping to rebuild their house, I'm a part of helping to restore their heart. That's super cute. Ice cream party. I'll take it. Oh my goodness, Mills.
I put a lot of it in my mouth.
The massage was amazing. It felt so relaxing.
You can just nestle it in there for now.
Thank you so much for blessing my family this way.
James 1:27 reminds Christians that we need to take care of widows and their families.
According to the Bible, this is pure religion, helping the orphans and helping the widows.
Most of us don't know each other. We just got a phone call that said, would you help?
Restoring is a big part of the show.
She was still wrestling through the ground zero of loss.
I'm sorry, I've been good all day, and now it's all coming out.
It's good for it to come out, and it hurts to heal.
Have you looked in this?
I could feel her pain.
This is healing forward. And every widow has said that to me.
Along the way, there's plenty of challenges.
10 minutes, hurry!
The clock is always your worst enemy. We need like another 15 minutes and we'll have it done. I hate making them wait, but it'll be worth it.
And the payoff of each show
is the big reveal.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the crowd. Now, look at that. That's cute.
Did you have a good day?
Yes!
Well, it's getting better.
Wow! Wow, you guys did a lot of work.
On Rebuild and Restore, you'll laugh, you'll cry.
But ultimately, we hope you're inspired to help widows in your own community.
We love it!
That is Rebuild and Restore, available right now on PureFlix. And right now, I have one of the hosts, Shannon Fields, with me. Shannon, great to have you on Life Today Live.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, now this show just looks like a lot of fun. Even though it has more heart than the typical home remodel, restore kind of show.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your experience on the show.
Gosh, there's so many things I could share with Rebuild and Restore. So we're calling it a little mini series because we have 3. But when I was approached to be a co-host of Rebuild and Restore, my heart was always been to uplift women. And I thought, yes, we can do this. I want to do this. And it was centered around James 1:27. And a lot of people don't know at the time, all was well in my life when I was asked to being cast for the show. And then by the 3rd episode of Rebuild and Restore, not only did I lose my husband, my sister also lost her husband. And so she is also in one of the episodes of Rebuild and Restore. So there has been a lot of things, a lot of changes. I see things now from like different eyeglasses than I ever dreamed would happen to me in my life. But I am blessed that I'm a part of a show that can help widows like myself move forward and heal.
I had no idea. I'm very sorry to hear that. That does put a whole new, it gives you a whole new outlook on that. How has it been for you?
So when we did the first episode, my husband was not even diagnosed. He actually was diagnosed and he passed away of ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. And he was a football coach. I mean, the epitome of strong and muscles. And not only was he strong spiritually, just physically he played nose guard at Ole Miss. And I was so excited about doing the show. And then during that time, my sister lost her husband tragically to a heart attack. And so I brought it to the team to help do something and restore something in her home. And she has young kids. I have older kids. So when we were making my sister's episode, my husband had already been diagnosed at that time. He had lost all feeling in all muscles in his arms and hands and lost about 30 pounds. But he was there at the reveal. He made sure he was going to be there. But then the 3rd episode, now I don't think it's that order on PureFlix, but the 3rd episode that we actually filmed was Carla's rebuild her basement. It was the basement episode. During that episode, before we even finished, he had passed away. So there was a lot of time before we did the reveal. But it really changed a whole lot in me.
I can only imagine. So we see this, show and we go, wow, what a nice idea. But when, and this is a kind of a big scale thing. It's for television. I get that, and it's not cheap. But just the idea of doing something for someone who has lost a husband, or whether it's the children or the spouse, the widow. How big was it? I know when you probably saw the pitch, you're like, oh, what a great idea. But then you're on the other side of it. What does it do for you in that time of grief when someone just does something nice for you?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It means so much. Grief is a journey. And I am finding. So today, as I'm talking to you, I'm 7.5 months when my husband passed away. And I never would dream in a million years that I would be doing this. And I love filmmaking, and I'm that person to say, let's do this. But that one, I would have said, God, I'm going to pass. I don't want to do this if this is what it takes. This is what, I have to do. But you know what, I'm here. This is where the Lord has me. And, the grief journey that I'm finding with all the widows is just so differently. But one common thread that we have is we heal together. And we experience a lot of some of the same things. Like with Carla, she would tell me it's lonely at night. It's lonely all the time, but at night is so lonely. We don't get to go home to our husbands. And she told me this before I lost my husband. And then when I lost Jimmy, she's right. At night is tough. It is one of the toughest parts of widowhood. But I'm hoping that my life and my testimony is going to help other widows, other women to move forward, but not just make it, but thrive. So I like to call us widow warriors, because I do feel like we are a warrior. And I don't know, it's so different. It's hard to, we were almost married 30 years. We had a lot of life that we lived together, and I am so blessed by that. I am so blessed. And he was my biggest cheerleader. He would be cheering me on right now. And the films that I have up and coming, he'd like, you're going to do it. God's called you to do it, and you're going to do it. So I'm hoping I can be that voice to a lot of other widows, because it's a tough journey. Yeah.
And having lost someone close, not my spouse, the holidays, you're going to need some support through the holidays. The first Thanksgiving, the first Christmas without someone is really awkward, and there's that hole. And we
centered that around Carla's episode. It was Christmas, and it was her first. Yeah.
So you know this. Well, I'll just pray that God would send you just people to lift you up and comfort you, and just kind of be with you, because a lot of times it's just being there for someone. You don't have to even say the right words. You don't have to say anything sometimes. Just
You're
be there.
Absolutely right.
Okay. That's tough. I didn't know that when we started this. You need to tell the publicist to put that in the notes.
I thought he did. I didn't know, but it just kind of started off, because that is part of the story of Rebuild and Restore. And just 3 episodes, and I go from my husband, my mind thinking he's super healthy, and I'm just gonna minister to women, to I become one within 3 short episodes. It was 11-month journey for him, and that is a short journey with ALS. So there was a lot of, I call a lot of trauma that we went through within those 11 months. But I have 2 kids, 27 and 24, and they're both married and amazing spouses that all 4 of us, and plus some other special people, helped us. Jimmy's sister was there along the whole way. We had so much support that I look back and I'm like, God, we prayed that he would be healed on this side of heaven.
Sure.
But God chose that he would come live with him. And I'll never know why until I get to heaven. I don't, but I'm not going to question God about it. I'm just going to make sure every single day I have to get up and say, okay, I need your peace, and I need your joy today.
Yeah.
Let me just get through today. But through the holidays, we do have some special things planned with family. So
good. And that's critical. But you're a Christian, obviously. The show has a Christian theme to it. I mean, it's rooted right there in Scripture. It's still hard. We still walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and it does cast a shadow, and we do have to walk through it. But the difference is that He's with us, and it's not that we don't get in any valleys with shadows. It's that He's with us through it. I'll move on from this, but how has it been? How's your relationship with God through all of this? Because and by the way, it's okay if you say, I've been mad at him or I've questioned him. He can handle all that. He gets that. So but I'm just curious for those who are watching who may have lost someone who are struggling through the process of the grief, because it is a process and we do go through stages. How has it been for you?
So I'll have to take you back just a little bit. So during the 11 months, we obviously had to draw strength from the Lord. And we drew strength from each other. And then there came the day that he passed away, which was February 15th. It was actually my son's birthday. We were at his house. And from that point on, things changed a little bit for me. I don't think I'm not mad. I'm not mad at God. I think my anger came when he got diagnosed. Because I was mad that he was diagnosed and this was happening to us, but not at God or him. But I know it's okay. I mean, God can handle all of them. But one thing's that my husband was a prayer warrior, and he was my biggest fan, and he prayed over me diligently and all the time. And so suddenly I felt uncovered. That's the word that it's always there. I felt uncovered. I'm like, Lord, I know I can come to you because I always have, but there's something about a physical person that loves you and cares for you and that prays over you. And so when I started feeling that uncoveredness, I would come to the Lord and he's like, you got to trust me now more than you've ever trusted me before. And I have to be that for you. I will cover you in every part of your life. And so I draw more close to him than ever before because I need him. I need to. And it's not that I just kind of took him for granted before, but I did have my husband that played that role that was amazing. And then he's out of the picture now. And I need him to protect me. There's a scripture in the Bible that I don't know it word for word, but the way I look at it and Shannon's version is don't mess with a widow because God's got us.
I like that.
And so that kind of gives me comfort, like God's got us.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at.
Bless you. My heart goes out to you. Thank you for sharing. I know that's going to mean something to somebody who's watching. We're talking to Shannon Fields, and we're talking about a home makeover show called Rebuild and Restore. You can see that right now. The episode's on PureFlix. PureFlix looks like that, and you can get a free trial just to check those out if you want. And this is the page on PureFlix for Rebuild and Restore. And gosh, I mean, the title of that show takes on a whole new meaning when you're having to rebuild and restore. But on the lighter side of things, did you have a good time breaking things and then putting them back together?
Of course. And it was my sister's house and that episode. So yes, I'm like, no, I need to break something. I need to bust something up. And it was fun because in Rebuild and Restore, yes, there's some hard parts because you have to tell the story of what happened to the spouse. But then our whole thing is to bring joy into their life. And so my co-host, Ken Fletcher, which is the creator of the show, he gets to do all that fix-it stuff in the house. Yeah. And then I get to take the widow and her kids, depending on the age, because we had younger ones and older ones, and we get to do something really special and really fun. And that's part of my heart anyway. And so it just comes natural just to kind of, and there's a special bond that happens when you do that, because yes, it's a show, but it's way, way more than a show, because every widow, it's like, I wanted to be on the show, but sometimes I don't want to be so open, but you kind of have to be to be able to tell the story. But then they all said to me, Shannon, it kind of forced me in a good way to face some things I probably wouldn't have faced for months, which is kind of part of the healing forward that I can kind of see. And so I don't know. I hope that there's many, many more widows we get to help in that way.
Yeah, well, I'm curious. You say there's 3 episodes on PureFlix right now. Are there more episodes coming?
We hope so. We hope so. We are praying right now for a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that we know that has to happen. And PureFlix is just one of their originals. And there's so many people that are PureFlix subscribers that come on board and help us and volunteer with us. And they all want to see us continue. So I feel like the Lord is going to allow us to do that. And the team wants to do a story on me and my husband. That'll probably be the hardest one to do, but sure. I will do it because anything that I do, I want to bring glory to God, but I also want to bring hope into somebody's life. And nowadays we need a lot of it, don't we?
Yeah, no kidding. And you're doing it. You're doing it, and bless you for that. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the movies you've done because okay. I mentioned Flywheel, the first Kendrick's Brothers movie, which was a church project, basically. And I've got some great inside stories from TBN, which used to run that a lot. Facing the Giants, The Order of Rights, which you had a big hand in. And now, can you talk about the one you're about to go shoot? Can you talk about that yet?
I can talk about it. It's called Trailblazers. And it's Antonio Sabaje Jr.'s first directing job, but he is the president of Trailblazers Pictures. Like God has placed inside of him to do some amazing work. And I'm just privileged to be able to know a little bit about what's up and coming with them. And I'm just excited to be a part of their first thing that they're doing. And it's a Western drama action. It's set back in the 1800s, and it has a lot of, I would say, good versus evil type storyline. And they can go to the IMDb page and look it up. But there are some surprising cast members that will be, I can't say right now, but keep going back to the IMDb and you'll be able to watch that develop as they put that on the page. But I'm excited about the horses and stuff.
Well, okay, so you got a good Southern accent. Do you know how to ride a horse?
I do know how to ride a horse. Now, I have to be honest. I used to ride when I was younger. And so just last week, I got back on the horse again.
It's beating, isn't it?
I'm like, okay, I've got to get back to the basics here because I can't get on this horse and act like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, I did the same thing. And it is a beating on your body. At an older age, you're like, how did I do this so much when I was younger? But you get back in the saddle literally and it comes back. So
yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that one. So talk to me about some of the other films and just your whole arc through these films. Were you an actor before Flywheel? Is that why you got involved in Flywheel, or did this kind of kick off your acting career?
No, it kicked it off. It's one of those things where I feel like I'm not your normal person getting into the filmmaking. I didn't want to go to Hollywood. That wasn't a desire for me. I got married at a young age, had my kids young. And so, gosh, I got married when I was 18 and I was right at 19, but I had 2 years later, I had Jay, and then I had Mallory right after. And then in my mid 20s, I was really had a desire and I know this was the Lord to be in film, but at that time there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that I would just like say yes to. So in my mind, I was thinking family, that kind of thing. But all it was something that God had placed inside of me. I had no training. I didn't ever do it in high school and all of those things. So I kind of actually set out on this journey to do it basically on my own. I don't know if anybody out there has ever tried to do something on your own, but it don't work. So I did that for about a year, and there's absolutely nothing that happened. And my husband at the time, now I'm from Albany, Georgia. That's where I'm from. That's where the Kendrick brothers has done their first 3 films were there. My husband got a football coaching offer from Sherwood Christian Academy at that time. This was before Flywheel, mind you.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, please, no, let's don't go back. I don't want to go back to my hometown. Are you sure this is where we're supposed to go? Let's go to Atlanta. Let's go somewhere larger. And he said, I'm trying, but God is shutting every single door, Shannon.
Yeah.
This is the door we have to go through. And I remember very vividly following the U-Haul truck, pitching one little Southern hissy fit because I was not happy. And so this was all on my own. So I finally, when I get to Albany, the only people that were happy about it was my parents at the time. And but I remember I was kind of tired. We get tired if we do it on our own. And so I was riding down this I call it this long country road called Old Pretoria, where the school is on. And I remember I said, Lord, I'm done, but I'm done in such a way that desire is there. I don't know why it's there, but if you don't want me to do that, that's okay. But I just give it to you. I basically surrender it to you. And then that was it. And about 2 weeks, no joke, my husband came home and he said, you know, Shannon and I was in a board meeting and I overheard them talk about a movie called Flywheel that the Kendricks are doing. And I don't know if we've ever met the Kendricks. I said, I don't even know who they are. And so I ended up calling them and asking if I could be a part of it. And they asked, yeah, of course you can. And I went on set. I met them for the first time. They gave me, I think, a couple lines or a line or something. And then after that is when I heard rumors of talking about Facing the Giants. And they asked me to audition for it and ended up auditioning. But then I was like, you know, I heard the Lord say, thank you for letting me do this, because you in your mind want to go to this way. You think it looks like this.
Yeah.
But I got you.
I'm laughing because there are so many people that I mean, I literally have friends in Hollywood that have had level of success here or there, but they're trying on their own. And here I am talking to someone who tried a bit on her own, but you know, always surrendering to the Lord. And now, I mean, you've got a long, you know, list of projects you've been involved in on IMDb, right? I mean, you're there, and it's because God has put you there. And it's like, you know, seek first his kingdom and all these things will be added to you. And it's like, God's like, Shannon, I'm going to fulfill the desires of your heart. You're going to have a good time. You're going to get to do what you always wanted to do, but you put me first, and I'll put you where you can be most effective for my kingdom. And here you are. Yeah. It's an amazing illustration of God's truth in our lives. And do you see that when you're in the middle of it, or does the day-to-day grind kind of cloud that sometimes?
No. I see it. I don't take it for granted at all. And some of the things that he has me doing up and coming is a little bit different than some of the projects I am used to. And I'm just like, oh Lord, you're going to have to guide me. And he's like, you know, I think it's okay to have some fear, but fear in the Lord, to go do some things that are a little scary. Because all of my whole 17 years, I've always done things afraid. I would just do it anyway. I'm like, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm kind of at the point in my life where I really only answer to one, the audience of one.
Yeah.
And some people may like some things I do and some people may not, but it's at the end of the day, who do you want me to reach? Lord, I want to be your vessel. I want to be your servant. And I can't help if somebody don't understand. It's the walk that you have for me, and they have their walk. And so that's kind of where I am in my life right now.
You mentioned the audience of one, and by which you mean God, and I totally get that. But here's an interesting thing I've noticed: when we when we try to walk in obedience and do whatever we're doing, and for you and I, when we're in a place that the measure is numbers, box office, views, followers, yada, yada, yada. If you get hung up on the numbers and start comparing to the world, where someone who's doing something completely pointless gets way more views than you do, or some movie that is totally antithetical to the truth of the gospel gets way more box office, receipts than you do, that can be very, you'll get down. You won't succeed if that's your measure. If you're trying to work in God's economy, but you're measuring by the world's economy, you're doomed. And I'm just curious, last question for you. When you keep your eyes on God and obeying Him, I find a lot of freedom in not worrying about the world's measure of success.
Yeah.
Do you deal with that?
I do. First of all, I can't live my life comparing somebody else's walk.
Yeah.
That's a waste of my time and energy. It's a lot of brain cells that's wasted. And I've had several people ask me, what do you define as success?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what defines what I feel like the definitions of success. Okay, so today I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is success. I'm walking through a grief journey, and everybody didn't have to walk through a grief journey, but because life is hard. Life is so hard. And if they can get up and get to the point to where they have whatever their assignment is today, like mine is with you, this is success. I've done it. I've gotten off the couch. I have put my makeup on and I showed up. Now, sometimes I don't feel like showing up. I'm going to be really honest.
Sure.
Like today, I have tons of family here. So I have that support and I can feel that strength. But there are days I'm here by myself and I'm doing interviews like this. And it's taken all I can to get to this point. But I make myself do it because I know the more that I take the step, then the weight just becomes lifted off. And so then when I'm here sitting across from you, that weight is gone because I did it. So that to me is success.
So good. So good. And someone out there needed to hear that. So if that was you, God just kind of brought you a little encouragement today through Shannon Fields, and you should go see her movies. So they'll encourage even more. Shannon, thank you so much. It's been it's been a blessing talking to you and fun to get to talk about some movies. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been a fun time.
Great. Thank you guys for watching. Follow, subscribe, like, all those fun things on social media so you'll see more interviews. And check out shannonfields.com. You can learn more about her and check out all the movies. Get your free trial on PureFlix if you haven't already subscribed. And you can watch good movies with Shannon and the series Rebuild and Restore. So lots of good things for you to do. There's your weekend right there planned out for you. We'll see you again next time here on Life Today Live.
Nobody can prevent you from doing the will of God.